In the land of Canaan, where tents rose on dusty hills and ancient cities gleamed under the desert sun, one moment would ignite a fire that no one could stop. Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, stepped into a world not her own. One glance, one act, and everything changed. At a prince's obsession, a father's silence, and two brothers fueled by wrath. What began with celebration ended in blood. This is the story of Shechem's fall, of Dinah's defilement, of vengeance and the cost of honor. Let's begin, but subscribe me first. Jacob arrived in Shechem, near Shechem, and rested there. He bought a parcel of land from Hamor's children for 5 shekels. Jacob built a house and pitched his tent, naming the place Sukkot. He stayed in Sukkot for a year and 6 months. Women from Shechem celebrated, and Rachel and Leah went to see them. Dinah, Jacob's daughter, also went to observe the festivities. Shechem, the prince of the land, noticed Dinah and was captivated by her. He asked his friends about her, wanting to know who she was. They informed him that she was Jacob's daughter, who had been living there. Shechem's desire for Dinah grew, and he took her by force. He defiled her, but claimed to love her and kept her in his house. Jacob learned of this and sent servants to retrieve Dinah. When they arrived, Shechem refused to let them see her. The servants reported back to Jacob about the situation. Jacob remained silent, knowing what had happened. He sent maidens to care for Dinah in Shechem's house. Shechem asked his father Hamor to negotiate for Dinah as a wife. Hamor agreed, questioning why Shechem wanted a Hebrew woman. Shechem insisted on marrying Dinah, saying she was delightful. Jacob's sons returned from the fields, angry about what had happened. They demanded death for Shechem, declaring his actions wrong. Hamor approached Jacob to discuss the marriage. He proposed intermarriage and living together as one people. Hamor offered the benefits of their extensive land. Shechem reiterated his desire for Dinah, promising to meet any demands. Simeon and Levi spoke deceitfully, saying they would consider the proposal. They claimed they needed to consult their father Isaac first. Simeon and Levi sought a pretext for revenge against Shechem. Shechem and Hamor agreed to the conditions proposed by Jacob's sons. Jacob's sons plotted to take vengeance for Dinah's defilement. Simeon suggested that all males be circumcised as a condition for the marriage. If they complied, they would attack while the men were in pain. The plan pleased Jacob's sons, and they resolved to proceed. The next day, Hamor and Shechem returned to Jacob to finalize the agreement. They spoke deceitfully, saying they had consulted their father. They mentioned that circumcision was a requirement for marriage. Jacob's sons stated they could not give Dinah to an uncircumcised man. They agreed to intermarry if the men of Shechem would be circumcised. Hamor and Shechem were pleased with this condition and agreed to it. They quickly went to the city to gather support for the proposal. They convinced the men of the city to agree to the circumcision. The men complied, eager for the alliance with Jacob's family. On the following day, Hamor and Shechem gathered the men to be circumcised. They circumcised all the males in the city, including themselves. The men then returned home, unaware of the impending attack. This was part of God's plan to deliver Shechem into the hands of Jacob's sons. Simeon and Levi prepared to execute their plan upon the men of the city. They waited until the men were in pain from the circumcision. Then they attacked Shechem, slaying every male in the city. Jacob's sons avenged their sister's defilement through this act. They took their possessions and the women and children as captives. Jacob was concerned about the repercussions of their actions.